Hello and welcome to episode 20 of Let's Talk Tactics. I'm your host, Zach Burrell.
Hey, and Dana Boom.
And I'm Locke.
This week we got a whole mess of things to talk about. Sounds like I have some convincing to do on some topics, and as well as we have just some general update things to go over. So let's start with what I said we were going to talk about last week, and we didn't. I apologize for that. There's a tournament going on, hosted by Slarso, SS Larso. I don't know how he wants us to say his name. There's two S's in the beginning. It throws me off. But he kind of came up with a different rule set than we're used to. So in past tournaments, we've had things like unit limitations, like just very strict, like UR, MR every game, or registered rosters with picks and bans, or map picks and bans, or just a lot of limitations like that. But he went with a point system. So the general idea is you start off with a UR unit, MR unit, and then you have a UR card, MR card. That's like the basis. That's just like a +0. Then you can gain victory points basically by lowering rarity of things. So if you go down to like an MR from a UR, you get +1. If you go down to SR or lower, that's another +1. So like there's no difference between an SR and an R or an N. But so there's like 3 stages. And then if you want to go up to like a UUR, that's -1. If you want to play like 3 UR units, your MR has to go up, so that's -1. You have to balance the points out. Then you get 1 for losing, 3 for winning, and then 1 per kill you get in a match. So combine all that together, and then you could actually lose and get like 6 points if you go and you had like a 2 bonus or like a 3 bonus, I guess, by like dipping your rarities way down, just like playing some Sazan and Phoebe and stuff.
Take that handicap.
Yeah, right. And then you lose, you get 1 point, and maybe you kill 2 other guys, that's 2 more points. So you can actually still get a lot of points from losing. So it sort of encourages people to use units you might not see normally, or so you might lose to like the quote unquote tryhards that may or may not be in the tournament. Locke, what has been your opinion so far on the tournament?
I really like it. I thought it was a really interesting rule set. At the beginning, I was very confused about it because, I mean, it was just very confusing reading all those rules. Like there was like so much to explain, right? And I actually still can't even remember where the heck the map was located. I had to ask somebody because it was just like so many rules to figure out where is this map. But no, overall, I thought it was very interesting because like it made me think about what units I want to bring. Like I have all the UURs now. Like I have Dwayne and Arstern and Tancred, although he's not that good or whatever. But
Oh, fighting words.
but I wanted to. But I wanted to not bring them just because, like, even if I win, if I get like 4 points for winning, like it's almost like I lose, right? Because, like I wanted to at least try to keep it to like neutral or at least get 1 point from it. So
Yeah.
it was very interesting the combinations you would think of, and also like the Leona's Castle card is just so misplaced that it gives you 2 points just for using it because it's
Yeah.
our variety.
Well,
But
it's
a really good
only 1
effect.
point if you downgrade your MR card. So if you use like UR Leonis, it's only +1.
Mhm. Oh yes. So you get an extra point. Yeah. So yeah, it's just been interesting thinking about it. And I haven't used it yet, but I've used like Horncastle or something just to get like extra point. So and I also used the Flodai card as well to get a point as well.
You
So
and your
it's just
Flodai.
so it's been interesting, and I like the rule set. Um like it took me a little while to think about it, and even going in, I hadn't had as much time as I would have liked to prepare. So I wasn't able to think of like really cool teams off like ahead of time. I had to kind of think of on the fly as we're doing this, and I was already I had my gunners already ready from
Mhm.
the CM. So I mainly just went to gunners and like switched around the third slot with something. But I think like afterwards thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I could have gone with like these different teams with these different units. I could have used Phoebe a lot because extra points again.
Yep.
But that didn't happen. But I still thought the rule set was really cool and interesting, and I'm kind of looking forward to more tournaments that he hosts as well because it seems like he has some interesting ideas
Well, we
for
still have 2 more weeks,
just
so
yes.
we're
Well,
doing
I'm looking forward
matches.
to that,
Yeah.
but but also afterwards, yeah, I'm looking forward to also just like different tournaments that comes from that group from that team.
Oh, and
What about
two
you?
two other things that I
Mhm.
forgot to mention. Each week has the different like bonus rules. So like the first week there were no time mages allowed. Like you couldn't even pick a unit if it could be a time mage. So like you couldn't use Nivlu, you couldn't use Gilgamesh, no Phoebe, Shell, nothing, even Katone. Sometimes people are picking Katone and were like, she has time mage. Like, oh yeah. So couldn't play any of them. And then week 2 you can't use bells. So been interesting. I think week 3 is going to be there's an adjusted rule. I think it's just Quicken is banned. So like if someone uses Quicken, it's
Mhm.
just like policing Bell's activation. You just screenshot or whatever and be like, hey, can't do that. And then
Surprising
also
that
it's a different
it's
map every week.
it's surprising that it's such a long tournament as far as duration wise.
Yeah, so what you do is you get 2 opponents assigned. Well, we got them assigned right away, but you basically get 2 opponents a week and you play them 2 matches each, which is another weird thing because culturally
Yeah.
in the United States, we're very uncomfortable with ties in any sport. And the fact that we play 2 matches, it actually doesn't usually end up as a tie because you get different points based on how many people you killed, what your bonuses were. So really, you're just playing for points each match. You could play one person 2 times, 1 time, 5 times. It doesn't matter. It's still the sum total of your points. It's not like a win loss ratio. So it is definitely interesting. And like if you were to miss a week, like you just have to make up points later or something. So yeah, no, it's an interesting system. I have used Super Stern twice now. Both times, all I did was move the MR card down to Leona's Castle and move one of my URs up.
Yeah.
So I used Stern, Halloween Leela, and Ravies Max Evade team with Leona's Castle, which was dumb. Like the fact that that's possible at a
Yeah.
neutral point value is kind of eh. I don't like the idea of just making an arbitrary like Leona's Castle's an MR or something because it just doesn't it's not consistent, but at the same time I think it might be necessary just for the balance of the format. But
Yeah.
Daniel, looks like you had some thoughts. Sorry.
I was thinking that I didn't know enough about like the structure and the duration. I was like, I passed on joining the tournament because I thought I wouldn't have time for it. But it sounds like now I would have had time for it. So,
Hmm.
and it does sound interesting. So maybe I'll have to check it out next time if anybody else is considering the same.
I mean, 4 people have dropped out at this point, so you could maybe just hop in one of them. And you'll just be a week behind because it is nice because you have 2 matches against each opponent, and you have 2 opponents each week. If someone drops, you just take whoever their 2 opponents were and just match them up for the week. So you end up it doesn't actually change the there's no buys basically. If they haven't already played their matches, but if you do, you just kind of cancel it out and go with it. Um, so yeah, no, it is pretty fun. All right. So next topic, let's talk about some releases for this week. So we've got a couple interesting things. We have the Siren Raid, which a lot of the PvPers have Nivlu, and we're all happy. And also we have just had Frederica, so it's been a pretty easy time so far. And you get the Elf's Cloak. What are your opinions on Elf's Cloak? Yeah, either one of you can start.
I thought it was really interesting because it's an accessory that gives you pierce resist and a very high defense. That's like I've never seen that before. So that's the first one.
Yep.
But I think more are coming. But that's the first one. And so like one sample build could be you could put Platinum Helm with that robe on actually no you can't because they're 2 different armors. but yeah, so you can't do that, sorry. But anyway,
No,
you can
you could put Platinum Helm plus Elf Cloak on something on a single unit.
oh right.
Because it's an
Okay, I
accessory. You
can
just said
it
it's
is an
an
jeez. I keep
Your brain
confusing
can't
myself.
even like it doesn't even
Like
make sense,
it's a
right?
robe. Wait, what?
It has
Okay,
448 HP and 16 defense with 10% of a resist. How is this an accessory? Yeah, exactly.
yeah. That's what I anyway. So yeah, you could do that. You could do Platinum Health plus that and put it on like Warrior of Light to give plus 10 slash resist, plus 10 pierce resist, a lot of spirit, a lot of defense, and give him like a TMR weapon, which is what I usually have him on anyway.
It'd be
So
great to do like Elf Robe plus the Balebur Jeanette too, and you're 25% resistant to disable and confusion also, which
mhm,
pretty
very
important
good,
things
yeah.
to have resistance to. Yeah, it's a very insane item, and the fact that anybody can wear it is the key.
For
Mhm.
one particular unit, specifically
Oh yeah.
Virginet and Elf Cloak. Obviously Agrias.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but you'd have to use like a TMR weapon or something.
Yeah,
Uh,
Gaff Sword on wall, right?
yeah.
Confuse some people.
Yeah, so like originally, like I mean, obviously we've been looking forward to this item for a while. You know, we've kind of anticipated it from the JP side of things. Um, Originally, I was like, you know, do I really need like you know to build one or more than one? Because I have like sortilege for like a shield sortilege. The 12 defense, it's an accessory. Like I'm already used to using a defense accessory, you know. But there's too many good things about the elf cloak despite it being like a UR item, you know, so it requires like that much more materials and stuff. Um, besides the fact that it's got like that much more defense, but like the HP pool, there's critical avoid, which people kind of underestimate or don't really take into account. Um, and so obviously, yeah, the pierce resistance, the confusion resistance, and the fact that like pretty much everybody can equip it. Just like there's too many good things about it,
Yeah,
uh, especially because it can synergize with like other pieces of gear. So
it's very
uh,
universal for sure.
yeah, like if you're into live PvP, I would definitely see you making at least one.
So I'm gonna spoil some tech from another PvPer we know and love, Mako. He is going to be building a vital version for Drainforce Catone because you get to get high HP on an accessory, and then you get to still equip your Sage's Hat, which gives you, excuse me, the evade that you want. And then you normally on a Drainforce build you use just no weapon anyway, so you can use whatever accessory you want, whether it be zombie mask or like some agility TMR or something. Excuse me, sorry. I think that's another interesting use. Like I would like to make a +5 shield and then just do a +0 vital for builds like that. I mean, it'd be nice to have the pierce resist, but
Mhm.
it's not like 100% necessary, especially if you're already being evasive and stuff. Like, just don't get hit by the pierce. Just avoid glacial, I guess. Um, yeah, the HP is really what differentiates it because it's also something like maybe you can use Wolf Mask now and feel better about it because that's an armor piece with low HP. So it always kind of felt eh. Sage's Head doesn't have that same problem because you evade anyway, so like you don't need the HP pool. But being able to have both at the same time is pretty sweet.
And even if you don't go like the evade route, and if you just go like pure like bulk, like wearing like the platinum robe and the elf's cloak, like the stat stacking for HP, like the second piece of gear is only 50% lower
Right.
HP instead of like defense, like the second item is like 20% of the
Yeah.
defense value.
Learned that the hard way when I was
So
stacking Spirit.
so like yeah, it's cool how you can like compensate depending on what you're looking for. Like if you're anticipating like going up against gunners, you maybe because of their sharpshoot guaranteed hit, maybe you'd go for like the platinum robe instead of the sage set.
Right, right. Yeah, so yeah, and then you could do it even higher for Drain Force too, because you have even more HP. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting ways you can go, even if it's not just, I think most people are going to build the +5 shield if they're going to make a +5, and then maybe they'll have a dodge or a vitals, like a second one for some like very niche uses. Of course, I'd love to have two +5s and make a +5 vital for something like Whisper or Murmur, so they can have the 10 Pierce on top of the high health, because that's how they mitigate damage. But can't have it all. You can only get so many recipes unless you
Yeah,
steal a bunch of
that's the limiting
people's
factor.
+3s or whatever, or their level abandoned 99 raids or whatever. Or do we even get bonuses this time? Oh, there's no bonus this time, so yeah, I can't even do that. So, oh well.
We get the bonus units.
Yeah, yeah. Can we talk about that for a second? That has been pretty insane for getting bonus medals. I don't know how I feel about it, just because I don't know. Frederick is still a bonus, right? She's just not as high as
Yes,
Niblu. Okay, so
she is 30% instead of 50.
Okay, so at least you still get some bonus for using like not the exact most recent unit,
Mhm.
And
but
it's also
still feels
interesting
weird.
that it's not just the bonus medals. There's a chance for you to get bonus materials too. Like running my level 100 Siren raid on solo, like it doesn't always happen, but like if I roll the dice right, like I'll see like an extra 30 white sand and an extra 10
Mega
void or
Chris. Yeah,
something. Yeah,
Oh, is that what was happening? I
yeah.
was wondering why every once in a while I got Void Chris. I'm like, why is this so random? Like my level 23 raid gave me Void Chris. Like, why is 23 a checkpoint?
I haven't
Oh, okay.
I haven't researched like the odds or whatever, but it's still kind of like a nice little bonus.
I saw it like four or
It
five
seems
times on the way to
pretty.
20. Like,
It seems pretty frequent. Like maybe like 30% of the time, 25% of the time.
that would make
Yeah,
I
maybe
sense.
get
it's
that.
like maybe it's like 1 to 1 with like the bonus of the unit. So
Possibly.
like if it's
Maybe.
if
Like
it's
it's like pretty
Nivelu, like
mage.
maybe 50% of the time you get like these extra materials or whatever. But I don't know that this seems kind of
It
like
seems pretty high. I don't know about
Yeah,
yeah,
that.
like
too generous. Impossible.
I don't know,
um,
but I was able to farm like 250 of those Mega Crisps just from I posted a screenshot earlier when I made that +5, and I had 6 Mega Crisps left. I looked at it again like just before I got on this. I'm at 250, so it was very fast to bring them up.
do
So
you know
that
how many you
recipe
get
will.
on level 100?
I get 6. No, I,
6.
I get
Okay.
three, three,
3.
three.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's
Yeah.
pretty
So
frequent then.
um Shoot, what was I about to
The
say?
bonus is 10, so whenever I get a bonus, it's 13 instead of 3. So it's pretty
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
significant.
okay. I was
yeah.
asking
So
what the
it's
bonus was when you
sizable.
hit it. Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
So for me, like, I had just recently spent up all of my Black Spirit sands, so I haven't like fully committed to like making my first Elf's Cloak, just because I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna need like 2,000 of these Spirit sands or whatever. I haven't even looked at it, but like I already bought the recipes, obviously. So kind of sitting on that for now.
Mhm.
Yeah, talk about more releases this week though. Typhon came out, which by the way I thought was Typhoon. I am an idiot. I missed. I looked back. I'm like, someone mentioned it might be like the Mandela effect, where I was like, I swear his name was Typhoon in every other game, and turns out it's just Typhon. So
Yeah,
that
you're not
threw
the
me
only one.
off. Yeah, like I was
A lot of
so
people are.
confused. I was like, why is this translation so weird? They're like, no, that's just his name. I'm like, all right. So let's talk about the Esper first. I want to start with the Esper. So it's got, most UR Espers have like 800 something HP, but it's got 91 magic, which is more than Diablos. It's got 14 agility, which is more than Diablos. It has the AP and TP is a little lower, attack slightly lower. I think Dex and Luck, one is higher, one's lower than Diablos. I forget which way it goes. But then on the board, it is our two-headed dragon for magic users, which is the flat 15 accuracy, which is insane. And then you have options of going down. You can go 25 wind attack for using it on like Leela or Howlet or something. If you're not using it on them, you get to go for 20% magic, which is also the same as Diablo. So you miss out on the multiplier, but you do get the accuracy still. And then you can go into like evasion or magic resist or something, just for like the extra points you have left over. Opinions on this Esper? I think it's insane. I think that obviously for a unit like Lilila, it's amazing because she can use the accuracy and the wind attack, but I think it's generally useful on other units too. Like, yes, you do lose the multiplier, the 10 or 15 magic attack, depending on who you put it on. But like, if you use it on a Rune Knight, like you have even more accuracy to stack onto their already high accuracy to make sure that you really hit those evade units. Then you still get your 20% magic for your magic slash attacks. So I think it's an amazing Esper. Locke, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think the Esper is really good. I think it's basically the equivalent of the 200 dragon that you said, but with more agility. 200 dragon's agility is his weak point. He only has 10,
Yep.
but he has 14. And 200 dragon also has a very high attack base and has a 20% attack. So I think it was made to be basically like like the magic version of him.
The
But then maybe
parallel, yeah.
they realized that maybe 200 Dragon's agility was too low, so they had to make it better so that more people. I have no idea, but that agility is well, it's key really to making him better because again, if you look at like Agrius or something, there are a lot of good other tanky units, but Agrius stands out because he has a lot more agility, and so that 4 agility really does push it a bit over the top. So I think as an Esper, I think it's great. I think if I get my hands on the Esper, I will probably like you get its resonance up to everybody as soon as I can and try to build it up. I think it's fantastic.
Daniel.
Yeah, I think it's probably like the comparison to the two-headed dragon is probably the most telling in terms of comparing it with other espers. Like like two-headed dragon, it gets like pierce resistance, it gets like an element killer, it gets attack up, it gets accuracy up, and it gets like slash attack up, right? So I think it's cool that Typhon gets wind attack up. It gets like an element attack instead of like an attack.
Right, right.
I think that might be one of the biggest differences, and kind of like one of the things that kind of sets it apart from other espers is the fact that like it has wind attack, it has that element attack for like any wind unit, as opposed to like the magic attack from Diablos, like specifically just for magic units. Um, I think it's really cool that it gets magic resistance. Like it helps you against other casters. Because generally, like when you're picking espers, like you're kind of mostly focusing on offense, unless you specifically use an esper for like a particular team you're anticipating going against, like Odin with missile res or whatever.
Sure.
Um, like it only gets like 7 magic resistance, but it's still better than say like, oh, it just gets accuracy or evasion. Like you see the evasion on like some of the early espers and you're like, whatever, man, this will help me get to like whatever end of the tree, but I'm not gonna, I mean, like accuracy 7 has been pretty clutch sometimes, but
Yeah.
um
I mean, I go the evasion 7 all the time, like with extra points. If I'm going to be using a team that's even like somewhat evasive. But
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of depends on like what team you're using it on. Um, I think I think it's cool that you can that it gives magic and wind attack for like specifically magic like wind units. But I don't anticipate building it for magic. I'll probably just go the wind attack and accuracy and or earth killer, depending on like if I use it for like the golem raid or whatever. And there's too many good branches in the tree to
right,
be
which is
able
a good
to.
problem to have. So,
Yeah.
something.
It's
Oh, sorry.
just it's kind of it feels kind of random that it gets demon killer, but like that might be useful down the line too.
Well, yeah, so I was just actually flipping. I was clicking between my two tabs really fast. They overlap on almost everything except for those three parts. So they both have the 15 accuracy. They both have the evocation boost, whatever. They both have 7 evasion in the same spot. They both have critical damage in the same spot, which is like a really weird random thing. And then they each have a 7 resist. So one's pierce, one's magic. And then it's wind attack for slash attack. And then they each have a killer of like the element they naturally do kill anyway. So it's light Esper has dark killer and Typhon has the earth killer. And then
Mhm.
yeah, they have your PVE bossing usage or whatever, dragon and demon killer for whenever those are relevant. So yeah, there's no denying their parallels, just opposite sides of the coin where it's one's magic, one's attack. So
Imagine once we get like an earth demon. Crazy.
oh yeah, the 50 mod on it. Let's just hope it's not evade too, because then you got to pick. Yeah, so I think it's just an amazing Esper. And also, if you've read, as we get more evocation bonuses for like getting Espers faster, because I don't know about you guys, but I see my Espers almost every like fight now that goes longer than like 2 turn cycles. Uh, I'm in like farming and stuff even. Its ability is nuts. It has like 6 or 7 effects on it, like listed down, whereas other Espers are like, oh, do some damage and raise ice attack or something. And this one's just like, uh, mostly going to inflict stun. It decreases wind resist, increases attack and magic for all of your elements, increases attack and magic by 100% for wind units, and it says for like 40 clock times, which is interesting that they actually have that broken down now. But yeah, it's like this crazy effect. So like if we actually get to do evocations like PvP and stuff, this could be a very amazing evocation to do, which I want to experiment more with when we get Yuna's staff, because it has the evocation gauge boost. So that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I just wanted to weigh in real fast. Like, I wasn't really too impressed with the attack and magic buffs. You know, like generally, your units already have like attack or magic buffs on like during the course of a fight. But the stun is really important. Yeah, it's got the 67% base chance to stun. There's really no stun resistance that you can easily
Mm-mm.
build.
Nope.
It's one of those like
It's not even on
pervasive
your. It's not
things.
even on your stat like bar to resist against.
Yeah, I don't really care about the less chance to crit, but the range is interesting. It's got a range height of 2, but it's in like a line.
It's an
Um,
Agris LB -1 range. Yeah.
yeah, but I think it's cool how it has a range height of 2. So like if you think of it like like a sort of like beefed up jamming thrust, where like the whole it's only range 4, but like the whole line gets
Yeah.
thrusted.
And stunned, yeah, which is basically like interrupting your cast. So
It's
exactly the same.
it's a little weird how they chose that range when it's called Great Storm. You think a storm would be like in a burst effect, but it's just a
Sure,
line.
sure.
But
It's a tornado's path.
yeah, that's just like a little nitpicky thing.
Yeah. But let's talk about the vision card though. So it gives it meh HP, like 220. It's not high, it's not low. 167 magic isn't bad. It's pretty good. It's on the, it's above average. It gives 32 flat luck, which is pretty sweet. Then it gives 10% luck to whoever equips it. Then you get into some, oh, and sorry, and then magic attack 25 and accuracy 15? 15 to allies. Then it has, for wind units, magic 30% on bestow, and also if you are Kadia or Leela, you get magic resistance penetration 20 and evasion 5. So how do we feel about this vision card?
So 1 second. So dodge is only 5. I thought it was 10.
It's
The
5.
range. It's 5. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think the
Garbage.
card I think the card is great by itself, especially for Leela. I think it's like the best in class, best in stat, BIS, whatever it stands for, for Leela.
Best in
Without
slot.
question,
Yeah.
best in slot. Is that okay? That's what it stands for. Without question, I think it's the best one for her. But I think when you look at it as a team, I think it's not as good. The reason for that is like, I mean, so when you equip it on her, she gets extra luck and she gets +5 dodge. So obviously she's going to be, very good as in a dodge team, and you could use this card as a dodge team. But there isn't any other caster right now that you can equip the Shiva Vision card to. You can equip
And
it on
feel good about
Mediana,
it.
I
Yeah.
suppose. Yeah,
And feel good
you
about
could
it.
and feel good about it. But even if you don't, I mean, like, because you're giving a lot of extra magic attack to anyone else, and you're removing the attack, like the attack stat, right? So if you have like say Runestern, Venera, and Halloween Leela, like one of those two, they're reducing their attack by a lot. Like you can make them a support character, I guess, but it really diminishes the whole team in a way. So like as a team, I think it's just better to use like different vision cards. And I mean, you could argue that, oh, maybe I want to use like a quickener and put like Phoebe on it or something, and give Phoebe the Shiva card. Yeah, you can do that. But like then we're looking at like the best possible team ever, right? So I wouldn't think to use Phoebe. Maybe because of like CM rules or something, you might want to use Phoebe. But just looking at the best possible team ever, in that case, I think there are just better ways to build a team and not use that card. That's why I think it's not as good as it could be. But I think it's still the best in slot for Leela if you're just looking at it by itself. That's what
So
I think.
I think if you removed the 5 evasion
Okay.
and you removed the 10% luck and you
Okay.
just still gave it to her,
Okay.
it would be insane. Like, yeah, it pushes you in the direction of going evade, but like even in just a general use team, even if you're not making use of, and they're pretty paltry anyway. It's 5 evade and 20 or 10% luck. Like that's not amazing, and unless you do have all the other stuff stacked up, uh, just if you just tell me I have 30% magic and 20% magic resist penetration, as well as flat luck on the card for my accuracy, and then accuracy as a party ability with magic attack as well, like that's so much stacking up to just nuke people, just as like a DPS Leela. Or sorry, what is we were supposed to change the term, right? Because someone commented that they get annoyed by seeing damage per second because it's per turn or whatever. But her damage output goes through the roof just by using this. So I think that it's sort of a trap to look at it as an evade. While it can help with evade, I think it's a bit of a trap that they've set for us to think like, well, if we're not making use of all these stats, it's not good. It's like the rest of it's insane.
Okay.
Obviously, this is specifically for Leela because
Mhm.
she really gets the magic pen unless you're using Kadia. But let's be honest,
Can you repeat the best effect again? It's 30% magic.
30% magic if you are a wind element. So even Howlet gets
Okay.
the 30% magic.
Okay.
Yeah, so that touches upon what I was going to talk about it. Going kind of harking back to like the comparison of the Espers. This is really reminiscent to me of the Agayan vision card. The fact that it's like a hybrid, like attack slash accuracy
Yep.
kind of thing. Um, I wouldn't really like recommend like using both of those on a team because it like I'm not really comfortable with just going all out like offense unless you can really afford to. Like if you don't like consider like what kind of defenses you'd want to have on Howlet and Halloween Little Leela on the same team, then maybe you get one shot and you're like, shit, what did I do wrong? But like in terms of at least PvE content or like maybe even arena, like putting those two in the same party, I think is um, a really potent effect as well. Like especially if you have Howlet on Red Mage for the jamming thrust, like he gets slash attack up from a guy on the slash resist penetration, and then he gets the magic attack up from this card from the party effect. So the only like the accuracy kind of clashes,
Yeah, they
but
do.
um, I like I like how you pointed out like the luck isn't just for evasion. I kind of see the luck bonus as more of an accuracy benefit than evasion. They snuck in like the 5 evasion just to kind of help out a little bit, I guess, because Leela's kind of an evasion unit with her ninja sub job. But I kind of see it more as like an accuracy bonus than anything else.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
so
especially when they
yeah,
tack on the accuracy is part of its effect, right? So it's they're already kind of
exactly.
saying, "Hey, here's flat luck, and here's the 15 accuracy. Like we're pushing you in this direction." If you use Typhon the Esper and Typhon the card on Leela, like, and if you have like Shadowrunner on too, like that luck is gonna be really high. The accuracy is gonna be like you're at 30 flat accuracy. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think this is kind of like a precursor. Like it's kind of leading up to like the Bahamut, like Esper and Vision card and stuff. It seems like they're getting us ready for maybe the element specific Espers.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But
I didn't think about it as an accuracy stat. I was kept thinking about it as a dodge stat because I guess with the dodge at the bottom. But
exactly, it traps you.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, as no, as an accuracy card, I that is a very good point. I think it would be very good uh to build up her to stack her accuracy uh to basically take out, because she will also have the holy effect, and most dodge teams are are sorry, most dodge teams are dark anyway, so she will do good damage. Yeah, that works.
Yeah,
I didn't think about it that way. Because
yeah.
I've been messing around with Aegon Cloud because I finally got it, and I used my uh the packs to max that out. So I've been playing around with the accuracy. So it's funny that I thought about it all for Aegon, but I didn't think about it for for this card, which is almost the same effect except for magic. So
Yeah, I love Howlet as like I love the Rune Knight like job,
So
and
good.
I really enjoy him as like his character, not his personality, but like his mix of jobs and like what he can do. He's not quite on the level of Halloween Ryu because Halloween Ryu has the paladin sub for the immortal spirit and the saintly healing.
Healing's
That's
so
just so
stupid.
crazy. I know. Um, um, so I like how this kind of synergizes, like Howlet with Halloween Leela.
Yeah.
Um,
Speaking
but
of, oh sorry.
yeah, I was waiting for you to make the.
So speaking of maxing units and tickets and everything, quick topic we want to bring up as well is our thoughts on the paid 1K packs in the shops right now, and the fact that we are leading up to the anniversary. So, just quick thoughts would be if you buy those 1K packs right now, and those of you who max Gilgamesh like I did using those, it felt very good because it's very efficient. They cost 75% less. It's paid, yes, but overall, in terms of the Vizier you're willing to invest into, a very small portion is actually used compared to what everyone else is using. So yeah, they're insane. So if you hold on to them, now here's the issue. So you can get 240 shards for Gilgamesh, say, when you get the EX job. Or for whoever your favorite unit is. Like maybe you want to use OG Stern at 120 when he comes out, or Rob because he's insane with his EX jobs, as they are in JP. That's 240 shards out of the 400 you need right there. Not to mention all the like free pulls and paid like whatever 100 and 200 shards we get when that update comes out. Again, all this assuming it's JP. I'm just gonna stop saying that just from here on out, assuming it's JP, or like it is in JP. But there's always the chance they don't let us use like quote unquote legacy select tickets to actually get those shards. I know that myself and a couple of my guildmates, actually I think most of my guild at this point, we're actually sitting on those daily summon tickets that you get, and we're assuming that once that update drops, we can just pull all of them and just get all of these orbs and shards and everything. A big
Full stream.
influx. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll actually have a pull stream for once. That never happens. Just these things I'm not investing into. Just have them over time. But yeah, so there's always the chance, but I think it's almost worth the risk because imagine the blowback if they didn't like, so they don't owe us like anything telling us if it's going to be exactly like JP or not. So we don't know that the anniversary update's coming, but like if it doesn't, I mean, just imagine how that would turn out. So I'm assuming it's coming. If people invest into them now, thinking they're going to work for that, and then be like, well, why aren't they working? You never said these were going to be time limited or past a certain whatever. Because they could even say like after March 24th or whatever, these won't work anymore. But that's not what they say. So what are your guys' thoughts, Daniel?
Um, well, first of all, I want to mention like they're select 80 shards now instead of
Yeah.
40. they've been like traditionally like 40 shards. So the fact that
And
we
you get
can
other
buy,
stuff, right? It's not even just
yeah,
the shards.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's so worth it, you guys. Like I my kind of approach to buying these with these paid viz packs or whatever is like kind of breaking down like how much you're getting per shard or whatever. So like yeah, I maxed Gilgamesh, I maxed Ruinstern with like with the select
Yep.
tickets, shard tickets.
Mhm.
They were like it was so worth it, right? Like it was like
Yep.
25 paid viz per shard or something. Instead of like the stupid like double cost
Yeah.
shards
What
that you get.
100?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, that's so worth it. But like the because you get 80 now, it's like, oh my god. Like if you are a spender in any way, um even like despite like this kind of like uncertainty regarding like the X job, and whether you can use like these like what we're referring to as like legacy tickets because they're before that update. um it's just super worth it if you have any units to build right now, and anticipate having units to build like a month from now, like when we're anticipating the that update to come out like in the 1 year anniversary, right?
Which, by the way, what I said was wrong earlier. So I forgot that the old tickets were only 40 shards. So they were 75% off. Now they're 87.5% off.
Yeah,
Which, come
exactly.
on,
It's just,
like if you are a spender, you should buy these.
or if you're on the fence about it and you're trying to build your account like this, it's just like
It's the most efficient whaling you can
yeah,
possibly do.
exactly. Kind of like the whole like only buy like large energy pots or whatever, and
Mhm.
if you're not buying anything else, like
Mhm.
I can see, you know, making a little bit more space in your budget for like just these things just because of the 80.
Yeah, just buy your energy pots for the week and then use the 410 plus 410 plus like a daily thing that you're doing for daily purchase, and there's one
Yeah.
pack right there.
Um, as far as the whole issue with like the X jobs and stuff, honestly, I would love to fall on this side of, yeah, of course they're going to work, for any units that are up to like the deadline or whatever. But it's hard to really like commit to that just because of just things that we've seen Gumi do in the past. So um, cautiously optimistic.
What about you, Lock?
Well, so I decided I was gonna spend them now. Because I
All right,
felt
next
like
topic. No, no, sorry.
I felt like Marshall's TMR was just so good that I just really wanted it. And I had 40 select shards from something else, and I was 280 shards away from maxing her. So there we go.
Do you know how
Now I
many
have that.
people's souls that you just destroyed saying you used all these tickets on Mashri?
If you're gonna use it on a TMR though, and you already have Ziza, like go for Mashri's TMR.
Her
Like
TMR's
Yeah,
so good.
it's just insane. I actually surprised somebody in a match 2 days ago from that tournament. So he had just used Halloween Rairu's Drain Evocation, so he had plus 100 magic, and he ran up to, and then he quickened his Rairu, and he ran up to my Nivlu, and he was shocked that he couldn't one shot her with Hazard Slash. He was like, "What the heck happened?" Right? Like he was not like. He was so mentally not prepared for that that he made a mistake and he killed his own Agrias by accident.
Oh, is that who the guy was? You said in the
Yeah,
chat, he's something about
that he
like,
was
so I just killed my own unit.
like,
that sucks.
Hey, listen, I think anybody who's played Gilgamesh long enough has killed their own person with Kotetsu before, so
It's kind of like a rite of passage.
it really is. Or Medina Cosmo Plume, bloop, boom, kill team.
yeah. So he, because he wasn't able to kill her, so he had to like run, and his time was running out because he was just like stunned, I guess, for like 10 seconds, and then he ran over to like where my Rosa was, and I guess he had to like as he was running out of time, he clicked the wrong spot and he killed this Agrias instead. He didn't even hit my Rosa. I mean,
They're both
unfortunately for
ice
him.
too. I guess he just saw the ice and was like, kill it.
Maybe, I guess.
That's still crazy though. Like even with the Mashri TMR, the fact that because it's not only is it Earth element on
Mhm.
likely your Earth weakness, it's also Nivlu, who's not the most resistant unit in the world. He's Drain Evo buffed to penetrate whatever you may have anyway, and he's got elemental advantage of 25% after everything.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that's possible.
I
That's
had I had 30% slash on her as well. But
Oh,
even
okay.
even still, like
40%,
I did not
16.
expect, like I wasn't expecting her to live, so I was surprised. I was like, oh, is it like a height thing? Like he wasn't able to reach where I was standing. I was very confused. It was only after the match he told me, he's like, your Niblu is like ridiculous. I couldn't one shot her after that, and I was like, oh, okay.
Good to
Like
know.
I did a
Moral
little
of the
fun for that.
story: Max Mashari's TMR.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Master TMR has saved me and won me more games than I think any individual item besides like bells, maybe.
And not even live PvP. Like I've gotten so many guild battle defends by using Mashari's TMR in guild battle.
Oh, you use it in Guild Battle? I have not. Because they only
Sometimes,
do it
like
to heal, right?
if you can make it work, and like if you survive the attack or whatever, and like the AI decides to use it, it's just like instant full heal, instant mitigation, just like so clutch.
I'll have to try that maybe. I've been thinking about changing up my defense a bit. I've been on evade for like a week and a half now or something, or since we've had this map. After the first 2 days, I switched, so
Yeah,
I'm sure I'm getting scouted.
for anyone that might not know the effect of Marshal's TMR, it gives you 30% damage negation for any physical and magical attack. So it's awesome. It's like Saintly Wall, except Saintly Wall is 50%, so it's higher, but it's only for physical. So you can still
Yep.
bypass it by using magic attack. So this one covers everything, and that's a 30% flat reduction. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's 3 times, not for like in the next
Not for
few turns or
turns.
something. So you
Yeah.
can open with it, or you can save it for later. And it's if you put it on a unit that has a reasonable magic stat, like 800 or something, like they heal 3 to 4,000 depending on the unit. So it's a very powerful TMR.
It's literally like one of the reasons why I did so well in CM1 is
Yep.
because I started with that.
Yeah, I mean, I used it through CM2 and 3 when we had the rerun. I used it, yeah, definitely in CM1. What about CM4? Not so much, but
Like as long as you're running a bruiser team and you have a magic unit on that, like it's you're probably going to be using that.
yeah, like Kilfei Agrius with Kilfei on Mashru TMR is so strong.
So good.
It's so insane. But yeah, so select tickets. Caution, but you're probably going to be okay. But obviously, we're not telling you that you're going to be okay. Even if you use them now, they're insane value. If you don't have Ruin Stern or Gilgamesh Max and you do want them someday, now's your chance to get a drastic discount. Again, if you're willing to spend a moderate amount of money. But moving on. So also, we have a kind of a fun topic to end with today. I don't know how much thought you guys put in this and seeing the post, which actually I think, Daniel, you just posted, right? It was your question from another Discord you saw, inspired you or whatever. If you could have your dream unit where you pick their main job and like what sub job you'd want them to have, I guess you could pick a third one too if you want a passive, and what element, what would you go with? Assuming like you are quality, you have like higher stats and stuff. So Daniel, you had one that you kind of snapped with, right? Then we'll give Locke some time to think.
Yeah, so I never considered like the third job, mostly because like there wasn't an option to do that, you know. It was just like, well, it wasn't about the like the passives. It was just like what would you be running this unit on, like for their main job, and then like what sub job they're on. So for me, oh god, it makes me every time I think about it, I'm like, oh, I wish I had this unit. I missed out on Halloween Ryu, but that combination of jobs is my favorite. So I would pick. Um, I really love the Rune Knight job. Like that's my favorite. And then it's not just about this game, but like throughout my life, like I've enjoyed playing red mages, and like that's what I kind of see the Rune Knight as. It's like a red mage. And but I've also been interested in playing like paladins, and you know like so my selection is like Rune Knight, Paladin, Subjob, Light Element. Just because I'm used to playing good guys, I guess.
Oh, so you're saying all dark characters are all evil?
I mean, obviously, right?
Basically, right? Yeah.
But yeah, so and like obviously we're expecting the light element meta to come in. I don't think my selection would change just purely based off of that. It's just kind of a coincidence. But yeah, so it's basically like if I were a unit in this game, I would be a light Rune Knight Paladin. So
So if Elshra could wear some heavy armor, you'd be happy. Oh, I guess main rune you wouldn't be able to, but the joke still stands. Locke, do you have an answer, or do you want me to kind of talk
No,
through
you,
my.
you can go ahead. I'm still thinking.
So
Depends.
Rune Knight is definitely one of the ones I considered. The job's insane. It has multiple tools. It's got a weird damage type. Like it's hard to. A lot of people aren't building for slash and like spirit, so you have to have something either both or whatever. And then even so, you penetrate through it with a lot of their buffs and passives and things. It's just an amazing job. But I think my favorite sub job in the game is Thief, because I love Thief lore. And then having the ability to go evade if you need to. You have like Steel Vision and Steel Time are really clutch against some teams, especially if you can get your agility high enough. But also you can potentially Charm, which I wish didn't exist, but it does. So I want to use it sometimes. Also Sneak Attack's amazing. If you have that as your level 12 ability. So there's a lot of interesting tools you get from that, but mostly Thief lore to get you that 4 move and 12 agility, 12% agility. So I was wrestling with if I wanted a sub thief or if I actually would want to design the first main job thief, because then I get the sneak attack and the charm. And what's the third one? Is it it's not confused dagger because you can have both on sub. What is the third one? Mug, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Mug. Yeah. So and you have mug, so yay, Gil Farmer. I have a place to get the resonance up and stuff. Extra bonus. So I actually think it might be main thief sub rune knight would be something I'd be interested in. You have some like status effecty stuff in the thief's main job. You might be a somewhat evasive unit, but then you also have the rune knight's damage output. And the only problem with that would be the mixed damage type. So whether you want to invest into one or the other.
Yeah, like the magic stat on the Rune Knight, like main job is so like it's integral to that.
Oh, that's true. Because if you're a main job thief, you're not going to have the magic focus. Okay, so yeah, I guess I'd probably have to flip it rune knight main thief sub, and then just go with probably charm because I'd have the or steel heart because I'd have the rune knight's accuracy passive anyway.
Have you thought about like the third job?
Paladin was one of my thoughts. Like Paladin and Thief are my two favorite sub jobs. Like if I have either one of those, I'll make a unit work. Like
Yeah, right.
that. Like the fact that Raldor has both is just really insane because you can choose which side of that coin you want to be on. He can't charm people, but he can still do
Ravias.
everything else. Yeah, Ravias is a unit that I'm like loving more and more. Paladin main job is sick. It's unfortunate that because the main job has so much pull in terms of a unit's design, you can't just have like a hyper carry Paladin in most cases. I'm sure you could just stack damage on it arbitrarily and forget the rest, but it's still going to be a little lower than one who's like dedicated to damage. But Saintly Cross is huge. Like not just damage, but like the area itself is literally huge. It's like a cosmic swoop center on yourself. You get the Immortal Spirit if you're main. You also get Saintly Wall if you're main. You get all three of those. So it's a pretty sweet job, not gonna lie. So I guess if I had to do a second one, I guess my magic one might be Rune Knight main thief sub. But then if I had to do like a physical one, it might be Paladin main with something like either soldier or what's the other one? Who gets tune up? That's dual gunner, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or like dual gunner sub for tune up on my Paladin. And then they can also like shoot from far away, like while they approach or something, or they could get their what is it? Is this I am not well versed in my dual gunners. Let me look at Lucia real quick. So you get firing stance. Oh, defense penetration. Like, sure, you probably won't use you don't necessarily use the missile attack, but that'd be pretty sweet. You could do like quadruple shot to get rid of barriers as your paladin. You're walking up to like get rid of their barriers and then hit taunting blade. Something like there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with that. And then I guess my third job just always ranger because I get reflex. So.
Nice.
Right.
Fucking reflex.
So yeah, third job so if I can just have any jobs thief reflex, I'm good. Which by the way, Mish is one of my favorite units in the game.
Yeah, right. So for me, like it's really hard to pass up like for a third job, like arithmetician, for instance, for just like the utility and like the farming potential and just like the range, obviously, right?
So you just want Paladin Elshra, really?
Yeah.
Like she didn't have time mage, just like slap Paladin on there.
It's hard to pass up like Kododama wielder for just like how impressive of like a magic job that is. But you know, you already have Rune Knight, so like I think, oh man, I would pick like monk or pugilist if I wasn't already committed to like a magic unit, you know, like it'd be dumb to have like those. It'd be like a Mashari, like with her spread of jobs.
Those chakras though.
So I think
Just heal up.
for my like favorite units, like third job, I'd have to pick Spellblade.
Okay.
To be able to have like the like the defensive option if necessary.
You have Savior's Protection passive too, right? The 12% to whatever your strong
For
element is,
for
plus
paladin.
12% magic resist.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you meant the
From, no,
savior.
from Spellblade. It's from Spellblade.
Yeah.
It's Providence, sorry. Providence of whatever element you're
Whatever
already
Yeah.
element,
got.
So it'd be darkness for a light unit.
Yeah. Which seems pretty good when that's the only element you're weak to. And for element, I guess I didn't say that. I probably would pick a lighter dark, because like if you could just choose to have the other 6 like almost irrelevant, you're not great or bad against any of them, you just have to deal with the other lighter dark units, it's probably the best. In terms of
I
which
see
one,
you. I
like I
see you
guess
as an ice unit. I
tanky
don't know.
dark. I mean, I love ice, but I mean, there's already so many good ice units. Like, if this is a unit that I'd want to add to my account to like have another tool in my arsenal, I don't need another ice unit.
This is just literally like your favorite unit.
All right, then it'd be ice. Sure, my ice paladin with sub thief and or sub dual gunner and thief.
Nice.
Nice.
So I've kind of thought about it. I've initially I was thinking arithmetician just because I like them so much. It's just like that. I really like the insta cast spells, but I've
You just sub
decided
it.
on a different. Well, yeah, I could sub it, but I've decided on a different mix. Starting with Sakura. So Sakura is interesting because she's light main and her skills are light, but she also has thunder. So if I make her a different element, what would the other element be? I have no idea. It's gonna be a mystery, I guess, right? Because lighter is her main and she has thunder as an off element damage type that she does. So if she was already thunder, would her off element be light, or would it be like something like earth? I don't know. I'll let that wander. But I'm just gonna design my unit assuming some things. So
Like main job, Sage of Mysidia.
yes. So that's gonna be the main job, and I'm gonna make her not light or dark, but I'm gonna assume that the 3 resistance she gets still includes light and dark, right? Because I don't know how they came up with that, but I'm gonna assume that it's gonna be a light resistance of 30% and 25% of light and dark, and it won't be mitigated because right now she already has a minus 10% dark, so she only gets 15 overall. And then for the passives, I'm going to give her Time Mage because one of her biggest weaknesses right now is at cast time. So giving her Time Mage with the activation of minus 250, that is going to be awesome on her. And then for
with
the
Quicken,
third,
of course, right? As your
Quicken,
level
yes.
12 skill, yeah.
Yeah, Quicken and haste and all that other good stuff. And then for her third sub passive, I'm going to give her same Thief Lore because I really like that agility passive and that +1 movement. Or I would give her like ninja passive. So either ninja or thief, but I'm leaning towards thief if I can design my whatever unit. And as for element, I don't know really. I mean, I like water teams, but they just like shut down so hard in PvP all the time. So just for that, I want to pick like earth. I only
It could be
have
dark, and then your abilities are earth, or like it's like the one you get weaved in. I do it that way.
yeah. So it's like I would assume I would still have some light abilities. I don't know how it works because she is light, but she has thunder abilities. So I'm assuming I would have. It's gonna be a mystery, but
I
that's
have
what
to
I'm
get this off my chest before I forget it. But like you were considering ninja, and like unbidden, like the thought was like go ninja, go ninja, go like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from my childhood.
Oh my
like
god!
just like came out of the jungle. It was like ah.
I thought about ninja sub thief just for the 5 movement and like 4 jump or whatever as well, or 3 jump, whatever it is they have.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
it's
Or 6 movement. It'd be 6 movement with Shikuchi and Thief Lore, and the ninjas have 4 naturally. Let's do some stuff with
it would
that.
be an assassin.
Yeah, basically, except
Good
more
stats.
robust. Then sub paladin, my moral spirit Zaza.
But yeah, that would be my dream unit with having like multiple element types and multiple resistances and crazy agility. And
I'm surprised you would. I'd never really picked you as like an earth unit. That's interesting. I kind of it's like a surprise pick, I think.
well, it's not really. So if I had to choose like my favorite element, it would probably be lightning. But I have just so many lightning units that
Yeah, it doesn't reflect your
just
roster. It's just like
because I
your
see
favorite unit.
This is
Well,
you.
okay, it's like
What
my
would you
favorite, then.
learn? You could pick 3 jobs. You got to work overtime to support your
So
family.
it would,
You have 3 jobs. What would they be?
so it would basically be Sakura as she is now, except her element just flipped because she already has those lighting
Yeah.
skills anyway, right? So it's just switch her main element
Except
and
with
then
time
give her
age, right?
time age,
Yeah.
yeah, time age and thief.
It's hard to not offer this in the PvP Discord now. Just
Yeah,
like
right.
to see what people choose, you know.
Oh, how about this? Anybody listening to this video and you want to participate in the comment section, let us know what your combination would be. Why? Give us your job level 12 ability selections if those matter. What passives you'd have on. Why you want them.
Hell yeah,
Put it
I would
down below. Let's
I
go.
would love to see.
And then for bonus points, name your unit and what flag they would fly under, or they would fly
Nice.
for,
Yeah,
whatever
like
that term is.
what faction?
Yeah, there we go. What flag they would fly, I guess, is just the term, right? Just don't do the white flag, because, you know, you want to just surrender every time. Your face. That was like the most like pathetic, like, all right, you got it. Oh my goodness. All right. So next week, we're going to talk about our thoughts on the future for CM5. Assuming it's the same as JP, we'll talk about units, comps, and everything. But it's going to be way too long of a topic to cover this week as well. So look forward to that. Daniel, I know you have a prediction that next week is going to be class match, so we'll see if that comes true. If
I'm
it does,
anticipating,
we'll obviously
but
talk
I'm
about
not.
it on Friday. But
Oh, sorry. I'm anticipating it, but I'm not like just like 100%. Like it's gonna be this, but
yeah,
yeah, they got to fit that in there sometime during February. So
yeah.
I
So
think like
Daniel's 100%. If it doesn't come out, you got to blame him. And
riding the coattails of this raid.
yeah, right. Locke, any last thoughts from you?
No, I'm good. Just make sure you at least get those +0 Elven cloaks.
Yeah, I mean,
Get
even
at
just the
least 3,
confusion
one of
resist.
each maybe.
Yeah, the confusion resist with 16 defense and high health is still amazing for an accessory. The resistance is just a bonus, like the pierce resist. So it's amazing. Go for it. And that has been Let's Talk Tactics. I was your host, Sakura.
Hey, Tanaboon.
And I'm Locke.
And we will see you next week.